Hey guys, Eric here with driverlineup.com. Finally got the truck back. It's been a week to get, let's see if I can show you this lever right here, which used to get stuck. It wouldn't go forward, which going forward would blink your lights, and then going backwards turned your brights on. That was stuck, so you couldn't push it forward or pull it backwards when you're heading down the road. And then for those who've been following the channel, we had a pretty significant headlight issue. So they did finally, Peterbilt, Van in Springfield. Van, you're a rock star, man. Love that guy. He really went to bat for us. Van is our Peterbilt rep at Prime in Springfield. And this Peterbilt here in Pocono was basically just going to send us out the door, and just their message was your headlight's just going to go out on you, 5 or 10 times per drive, and they couldn't replicate it. And I told them they couldn't replicate it. You'd have to drive 5 or 6 hours and it wouldn't do it at all, and then all of a sudden it would do it 2 times per hour for the next 3 or 4 hours. So I knew they were going to have a difficult time replicating it, but Van intervened, and he had a good chat with me on the phone yesterday. We kind of walked through all the process that happens when that headlight goes out, and he had got with Peterbilt's engineers, and they concluded that it was the entire headlight housing unit, or the whole headlight. So, which is $1,000. It's a $1,000 headlight. So for the whole thing. So warranty covered that because the truck is so new. And I'm just really glad that he helped out to make that happen. So it helps. That's one of the benefits. You guys wondering if it's worth going to a mega carrier, where there's a lot of benefits of it, but one of them is that we have reps that are full-time at Prime who work for the manufacturers. So at Prime, there's an international rep, there's a Freightliner rep, and there's a Peterbilt rep who work for their companies, but they're at Prime full-time. Just to kind of be there as a middleman for, between Prime and the manufacturers. So that was very helpful. Didn't like being here for a week, but Van just really, I think our issues resolved, and so really happy about that. Anyway, while I'm sitting here waiting for the batteries to charge up, they weren't dead. I just wanted the APU wasn't on, and they didn't kill the power in the cab, so I wanted to make sure to run the APU for a few minutes before I head back over to the hotel and pick up everyone. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour of the truck, although it's a little bit of a mess, and talk real quick about the things that I love and the things that I hate. There's going to be a lot that don't make this list. I'll do a more extensive one in the future, but just a couple things that I really miss about the Freightliner that Peterbilt, I think, didn't really do a good job of. One of them is, let me see if I can switch my camera around. It's not going to let me. I don't know why it wouldn't let me switch my camera around. Anyway, one of the things that I miss is right in here. In the Freightliner, you had radar, and so you could see how fast the truck in front of you was going, how fast the vehicle in front of you was going. To me, that was very helpful. It was very helpful because we're in governed trucks, right? So if I've got a truck up ahead, and I can see that now in a Freightliner, I can only do 64. It's not a true 65. You actually only can do 64. So if the truck up ahead of me was doing 63 and I had some traffic behind me, I knew, well, okay, I probably shouldn't try to overtake that truck. So if I knew the exact speed, it would help me make some decisions on whether or not to pass the truck. Peterbilt doesn't tell you that. It doesn't have the radar to see how fast the vehicle's in front of you going. So it's kind of a guessing game to see if you think that you can overtake that truck without peeving off everybody on the interstate. So that's a little thing I do miss. I really miss the drink holders, the cup holders on the Freightliner. These right here, Peterbilt, these suck. These are terrible. They rattle. when you're going down the road, they're so short that if you have a tall bottle, it can tip out of the thing. Just terrible. I understand what they're trying to accomplish. What they're trying to accomplish with these is keeping your you know, a lot of foot space down here, which it does. It does feel more open down here. I'll give them that. But what I wish they would have done is just made one long, more sturdy tray that comes out and maybe has even 3 cup holders instead of these little single. I mean, look at that. You think that's not going to rattle going down the road? That thing rattles like crazy. And rattles to me, oh my gosh, you guys, I will pull over to a rest area and hunt a rattle down. I cannot stand something rattling in the truck. So those cup holders, I hate those. They just feel really cheap and janky to me. So if you guys have figured out a way to keep those from rattling, those of you who have Pete's, that would be amazing. Let me know. We've tried stuffing things in there. We've tried everything we can to get that to stop rattling, and it just keeps rattling. Another thing the Freightliner had that I really liked in the 2020s is they had the Qualcomm actually in the dash. I really like that. I like having access to everything right here. If you saw, I think my first video, they actually installed this with the short arm, which had it down here, which was absolutely ridiculous because I don't rely on this GPS to get to places. I always pre-trip and you know, pre-plan my trips, and I know which routes I want to take. So sometimes I'll deviate from the Qualcomm, but I do like to have that map there. It's really helpful. It gives me, you know, an extra speedometer. You know, just lets you see the road ahead, what kind of curves you're going to be up against. And I have another GPS up top that helps with that too. But Prime, don't install it way down here. That's of no use whatsoever. I mean, I literally, first of all, it blocks where they had it. It was right here in this space, so you couldn't actually go between the seat. You couldn't move your legs between the seat and the dash column. And then, of course, when you're driving, you're looking over here, right? Why in the hell would you look down there for directions? Like, that's just, and you know, if you're trying to hit a tab to listen to messages, of course we're a team truck, so we can read messages. You're looking way, you can't look way down there while you're driving a truck. So we had to go pay $38 to correct their poor decision and get the longer arm, which raised it up there. And I'm actually going to add an extension to that to bring it even higher. But I do miss the Freightliner having a Qualcomm right here next to the steering wheel. I thought that was a really nice change. And let's see what else with the Freightliner. Oh, definitely storage. Definitely storage space. Freightliner had way more storage space. These little pockets up here are not deep at all. In fact, that's the back right there. And these 2 cabinets up here are pretty much useless. I mean, you can't, nothing will actually stay there. If you stack stuff up here and open that cabinet, it's always gonna fall out and hit you in the head. So they should at least put like a mesh net or something halfway up so that you could put stuff up there. It's not gonna fall out and hit you in the head. And these are not that deep either. So you lose a lot of storage up here. But on the other hand, what you gain is a lot of space. It does feel more open and spacious. So, you know, I understand what they're trying to do. Another thing I miss is that the lane departure speakers in the 2020 Freightliner, they actually moved them down into the door, which was nice because they didn't just blast you in the eardrum when you intentionally cross a line, you know, like when you're trying to avoid getting hit by a trailer that's passing you. Those things are supposed to be anti-distracting. They can be some of the most distracting things out there on the road. You go at 3 a.m. having a nice cup of coffee, listening to an audio book. Trailer comes past you, and you just swerve just a little bit, you know, to make sure that trailer doesn't whip you, because you can see it crossing the line into your lane. And these things are just freaking screaming into your ear. So, and these are even louder than the Cascadia. So I don't like these nanny things that these trucks have. That said, things I do like about the Peterbilt is this is not anywhere near as nanny of a truck as the Freightliner was. it does not scream at me and try to slam on the brakes as much as the Freightliner did. The Freightliner was always yelling at me and always trying to slam on the brakes for no reason at all. I could go under an 18-foot bridge and a Freightliner, there it is, trying to slam the brakes and stop the truck, which is crazy that that's a safety feature, because it teaches you, those of you who have Freightliners, you know that you hit the fuel pedal to override that automatic braking system. So it basically teaches you that anytime it gives you an alarm, to hit the fuel pedal. Do you guys think that that's I don't know, guys. I don't think that's I think that has the opposite effect. It yelled at me a lot more and hit the brakes when a car would be veering into the off-ramp, or another vehicle would be completely in the off-ramp, doing 25-30 miles an hour, way over in a separate lane in the off-ramp, and I'm in the right lane. It's clearly of no danger to me whatsoever. The truck starts slamming the brakes and trying to stop it. And a lot of people have gotten critical events in that scenario. And in that case, you have to hit the fuel pedal again. So I noticed the Peterbilt, in most cases, it just lets me drive the truck. And I appreciate that. I think if you need all those safety features, maybe you shouldn't be driving an 80,000-pound vehicle. That's just my opinion. Either you're a qualified professional driver or you're not. I don't need all kinds of bells and whistles yelling at me and the truck trying to brake itself. I'd rather be responsible for my truck and my life and make good decisions and be in control. So the Peterbilt definitely is much more basic and just lets me drive the truck, and I really appreciate that. I do like we said, with the floor space up here, it is much more spacious. It feels more open. You've got, I'm trying to think of what else. We can go in the back. It's a little bit of a mess, guys. But in the back, it just feels more open back there. I think it's because of this gap right here, where you have this countertop. You got a little desk that pulls out here, a big cabinet down there. But because of this space right here, where your controls are, it makes the whole thing feel a lot more open. The refrigerator, now you're stuck with that size. I don't mind it. It's bigger than the refrigerator that I had in the Freightliner. It's deeper. So it works for us. So we don't have any complaints. We basically keep it stocked with drinks, like some coffee drinks, some frozen strawberries that we use for our shakes, and so it's some snacks. Sometimes we'll do wraps and things like that, and it's plenty of space for us. So it's got a little freezer in it, but that's all you can get. I actually like it. Now, some people say those refrigerators are really expensive. Yeah, they are, but it's a really good refrigerator. I just feel that it's got a lot of quality, and I like it. It's got a really big closet right there. I'm not going to open it. That's all Jenna's clothes. These up here, I really love these cubbies up here. In the Freightliner, for whatever reason, I have no idea why they did this. This would be the top right about here, and then the space up above was just open, but there was no real significant lip. So you couldn't keep anything up there when you're in motion. It would just fall off. So that space, that big, nice, useful space up above in the Freightliner was just useless. I mean, you can only use it when you were parked. But here, this has got a nice lip that sinks down on this side, which is a total mess right now. It's got cup holders, and it's got power sources over there. The bed up here, I do sleep in the bed up here when we're parked, because we have a German Shepherd, and that German Shepherd wants to be right down here. So now, and this bed is absolutely bigger. It is definitely bigger, and the default mattress that comes with the Peterbilt is actually really comfortable. In the Freightliner, I had to replace the mattress several times to try and find something I could sleep on. This mattress that's in the Peterbilt is actually really comfortable. It's got a nice big window over there. We pretty much always leave that window open. In fact, I don't think we've ever closed that window, or at least covered it. I don't mean closed it, but covered it. It does have a TV mount that's already built into it right there. I think the sun's kind of playing some tricks with it. So you would just buy an arm mount for it, put that on that plate, and your TV can go right there. we just don't really watch a lot of TV, so microwave space right here. And guys, actually spend the money, this is just my opinion, my experience, spend the money to get an actual truck microwave. I got this one at TA at I-80 truck stop that is actually designed to use the power that's available in a truck, so it does not overwhelm the inverter in the APU. Runs really nice in a truck. So they're about 130 bucks, I think, and that's a business expense. So just do it. Also up here, it's just more elegant. Well, it's just a better, feels like a better craftsmanship, if you will. I just find it to be like the Freightliner. To me, just felt like it was just a workhorse, right? It wasn't meant to be elegant or classy. And the Peterbilt, it is a workhorse too, but it's also your home. And I feel like they've put a lot of touches in it, just the quality of the doors, the leather, just things that they've done throughout the truck that are designed to make it just feel more comfortable to you, and just make you feel better being inside of it. I just feel like it's a much more elegant environment, and I really enjoy that. So that's kind of my basics on the inside. Like I said, I'm actually going to do a bigger video for you guys down the road on this, but there's a couple things out here too. It's going to be really bright. It's going to be noisy too because my APU is running. But the catwalk, now I don't have a trailer right now, but the wheelbase on the Freightliner is substantially longer, and that's what makes the ride better. The ride is the sole reason really that we switched to Peterbilt from Freightliner, because the Freightliner was just so rough. It would be fine if I was a solo driver, but as a team truck, I could not sleep in that Freightliner. I mean, there were certain bumps, like going across 70 in Indiana, it would literally throw me out of the bed. And because the Peterbilt has a longer wheelbase and better suspension, it's just a really smooth ride. I mean, like noticeably smooth. Also, because of that longer wheelbase, in the Freightliner, your trailer is going to be, pretty close to this fin right here. In the Peterbilt, your trailer's, in fact, that grease right there fell off the front of a trailer, right there. So that tells you how far the front of the trailer is from the back of the cab. So I get a lot more room to get back there and do things. If I have to open the reefer doors, if I need to get back there and get load locks, I have a lot more room to do that in. But it's my airlines and electrical lines don't drag. I'm not constantly at war with those, trying to keep them from scraping the back of the cab or off of the catwalk, because there's so much space between the cab and the trailer that it's just the perfect amount of space to keep the airlines and everything nicely adjusted and off the catwalk. Of course, you guys see I got my step box. Very expensive, but very worth it. And then the last thing, I don't have my keys with me, but last thing out here is the door. I love this. We use it all the time. We're coming out of a grocery store or something, just put in jugs of water, things underneath the bed, without having to go through the front of the truck. And because of the step box, we actually have excess storage now under the bed, which is really nice. So anyway, that's kind of my, not a full Peterbilt tour, but just to look at some of the things that I love and some of the things I don't really love. It's just a better looking truck too, guys. See my little Halloween costume? It's just a better looking truck. Yeah, we've had some problems. We're just coming out in the shop right now. But as I've said before, guys, another thing out here is the steps are actually more like steps, or like stairs versus a ladder. Cascadia, I made the decision one time to come out of that truck frontwards, and I paid dearly for it. I think all of us have probably come out of the truck in a way that we didn't want to, and that was those Freightliner steps can be pretty steep, especially in winter where there's ice and snow out there. Well, the Peterbilt are more like stairs, so I like that too. But it's a great truck. I would not ever go back on Peterbilt from this point forward. Will not ever go back to a different truck. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful for you guys. On the fuel mileage, you're definitely not going to get Cascadia fuel mileage, not at all. And I knew that going in. I wasn't misled. I didn't think that I was going to be able to match what my Cascadia got. I just thought that was going to be a price to pay for comfort, and that is a price I pay for comfort. I think my average is about 9 miles per gallon, maybe a little higher than that, but here's what it is. My average is much higher in the Cascadia. I could fully loaded, you know, cruise at 10 miles per gallon if there's no mountains or anything in the Cascadia. Can't do that in the Peterbilt, but it's worth it to me. I mean, it's not like it's either I'm going to give that money to Uncle Sam or I'm going to spend it on fuel for comfort in the truck, and that's what I do. I spend it on fuel for comfort in the truck, and so love it. Wouldn't go back. So hopefully that helps, guys. Like I said, we got the truck. We're headed back out. Hopefully we'll have a load here. Happy Friday. If you get weekends off, enjoy the weekend. Be safe out there, guys. Make good decisions, and as always, drive to thrive. Talk to you soon.